Power of focus. The buzz of city life was a constant hum in the ears of 19-year-old Jay Mehta. The streets of Mumbai never slept, nor did the pressure in his head. Every honking horn, every ping from his phone, and every notification from social media was another tug on his already fraying attention. He was talented, smart even, but increasingly distracted, pulled in 10 directions with none taking him forward. Jay was a second-year engineering student, one of the thousands trying to find meaning in formulas and systems that barely interested him. His dream was different, not equations or coding, but building innovative solutions for the rural poor, designing affordable technologies that could change lives. But that dream was fading, buried beneath deadlines, online games, and an overwhelming sense of mediocrity. He had tried to start projects, even joined a startup group once, but his own inconsistency sabotaged him. A few days of motivation would fizzle out into nights of scrolling Instagram or binge-watching web series. Each time he promised himself it would change, each time he failed. It was on a rare, quiet evening in the college library when everything shifted. Jay had wandered in aimlessly, looking for a place to escape the chaos of his hostel. The library was old, its wooden shelves towering, the smell of musty books oddly comforting. He randomly picked a book from the self-help section titled Deep Work by Cal Newport. He flipped it open to a chapter on attention residue. The author described how switching tasks leaves fragments of attention stuck on the previous task, making it nearly impossible to do anything deeply. Jay paused. That phrase stuck with him, attention residue. It felt like a diagnosis. His entire life was a trail of fragmented efforts. Nothing finished, everything shallow. For the first time, he read not just to escape, but to understand. Page after page, he saw his own life mirrored in the problems Newport discussed: digital distractions, shallow commitments, the myth of multitasking. The idea that success required focus deep, sustained, single-minded effort struck him like lightning. Jay left the library that evening, not with answers, but with a new question. What could I achieve if I truly focused? Jay decided to treat the next 30 days as an experiment. No social media, no YouTube, except for project-related content, and no unnecessary apps. He uninstalled everything that wasn't essential. He bought a cheap Nokia phone to replace his smartphone temporarily. The first few days were brutal. His hands itched to reach for Instagram. His fingers hovered over his laptop keyboard, tempted to open browser tabs out of habit. But he resisted. He blocked specific hours in the day 90-minute focus sessions dedicated solely to building his idea, a portable, low-cost water purifier for rural households. It was something he had read about but never followed through on. He started researching, reading papers, watching tutorials, and sketching models. The days were long, but unlike before, they felt purposeful. As the weeks passed, something changed. Jay noticed a new rhythm to his thoughts. The mental fog began to lift. His mind, once scattered, now moved in straight lines. He found joy in the process, solving problems, making connections, and pushing through challenges without jumping to distractions. He built his first prototype in week 3. It was crude but functional. For the first time in his life, he had built something real. With success came temptation. A friend sent him a link to a trending video. Just one, he told himself. Then another friend called. Come out tonight. Everyone's going. You're always working now. He almost gave in. The pull of his old life was strong, comforting, familiar. But Jay had seen the cost of giving in, stagnation. So he did something radical, printed a quote and taped it to his wall. The price of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. He didn't want to return to the version of himself who started things and never finished. He wanted to be the person who saw things through. So he stayed in, he read, he refined, he worked. And with each passing day, his focus became not a burden, but a superpower. By the end of the semester, Jay's prototype had gone through 3 iterations. It was now a solar-powered, portable filtration unit using sand, charcoal, and UV light. Simple, effective, and cheap to produce. He pitched it to his professor, who encouraged him to submit it to the college's annual Innovation Challenge. The night before the presentation, Jay was nervous. Not because he doubted his work, but because for the first time, he believed in it. He stood in front of the panel professors, investors, and startup mentors. He walked them through the problem: lack of clean drinking water in rural areas. He showed them his solution. He explained the materials, the science, the cost effectiveness. When he finished, there was silence. Then applause. He won first place. More than that, one of the judges, a social entrepreneur, offered him mentorship and a chance to scale the product for field testing in real villages. Jay felt something he hadn't felt in years: momentum. Jay didn't stop after the competition. He began waking up early, journaling his thoughts, reading books on design thinking and social entrepreneurship. He realized focus was more than shutting off distractions. It was about aligning life around what mattered most. He gave a TEDx talk at his college titled "The Power of Focus in a Distracted World." His story resonated with students who felt the same burnout, the same paralysis of too many choices and not enough direction. He launched a student club called Flow, a space for deep work where members would meet, lock their phones, and focus on personal projects for 90-minute sprints. It started with 5 people, then 10, then 50. Jay wasn't just changing himself, he was building a movement. Of course, the road wasn't smooth. Field testing exposed problems. The filter clogged quickly in muddy water. Villagers were skeptical of outside solutions. Distribution was messy, and costs were higher than expected. There were moments Jay felt like quitting. But the difference now was that he didn't react. He reflected. He spent a week living in one of the villages, understanding their daily struggles, collecting feedback. He redesigned the filter with local input, using clay instead of plastic, improving efficiency and lowering costs. That experience taught him that focus wasn't rigidity. It was adaptability with purpose. It was being present with problems long enough to solve them, not rushing to escape discomfort. By the time Jay graduated, his purifier project, now called Jal Sati, had been adopted by 3 NGOs and deployed in over 50 villages. He declined lucrative job offers from tech companies. Instead, he founded his own social enterprise, focused on frugal innovation for underserved communities. He had become what he once only dreamed of: a creator, a problem solver, a change maker. And it all began not with talent or luck, but with focus. 5 years later, Jay stood on the stage of an international innovation summit in Geneva. His talk was titled, once again, "The Power of Focus," but this time, it wasn't theory, it was testimony. He shared his journey from distraction to direction. He told the audience how clarity came not from doing more, but doing less with more attention. How the world didn't need more noise, but more people willing to sit in silence and do meaningful work. As he ended his speech, the crowd rose in applause. Somewhere in the back row, a young student watched, phone in hand, inspired, heart stirred. He went home, deleted his apps, and picked up an old book from the shelf.